Good morning, everybody, or afternoon, whatever it is for you. Hi, welcome, hello, glad to have you. How's everybody doing? Everybody feeling good? Feeling lively? This is gonna be fun. We're not gonna go for like 4 or 5 hours. We're probably gonna go for about 2, but we're gonna try Wild Hearts. We're gonna touch on a couple of news items, and something crazy actually happened today. And I don't know if you guys might have seen it yet or not. Something like actually certifiably magnificent occurred today. You might not have heard of this whole thing. However, there has been somebody unaliving people in a serial manner for like 20-ish, 25 years. He's been on, like, the police have no idea who he is, over in Long Island, in New York, or New Jersey, whatever. In the New York area, it looks like they thought that he lived in New York, but then they were like, he might live in Manhattan, but then he might also go, and he's going, there's a bunch of unsolved crimes in Rhode Island, so he might be in Rhode Island, and then he might also be in New Jersey, floating down there. It's kind of complicated. However, today, they just arrested a guy, like, out of nowhere. Like, out of nowhere. Suffolk County Police reportedly have a suspect in custody in connection with the Gilgo Beach murders who is being named as Rex Howerman. This guy. Apparently, he's like a pretty well-known architect. Yeah, the Gilgo 4, it was 4 bodies that were found on this beach. And they connected a bunch of other crimes to it. It's just crazy. Yeah, I mean, the whole case is wild. If you want to look up the case, it's absolutely crazy. But this has been in the works for a while, and they had been at a standstill, and then allegedly they just found the guy, linked him through like DNA. It's not him, it's the guy he's talking to. This guy. He's done like interviews and stuff, and they just arrested him. Like, it's wild. He's got like a wife and kids. Apparently no like criminal history. He's just like a super chill guy, apparently. This was really creepy though. Listen to this. Listen to this. Just listen to how he describes how he deals with problems.
Rex Howerman. I'm an architect. I'm an architectural consultant. I'm a troubleshooter. Born and raised on Long Island.
Okay.
Been working in Manhattan since 1987.
Just to be clear, this is the guy that they're saying is tied to the murders of like a dozen plus people.
Patience.
That's funny. I was hoping you would say that.
Yeah. Patience, and I don't like to use the word tolerance, but sometimes you have to.
Yeah.
And it's not just with the city, it's also with the client.
Like, it's just wild. It's wild. So I've been watching this case for just a long time because I'm like, it's crazy to think that in the modern day, in the age of DNA and all of that, that there's serial killers with like double-digit body counts running around. But they are still out there. This was one of the unsolved serial killers that the FBI was keeping an eye on, trying to investigate. There's a few others in the States where they're like, these are tied together. They're all connected. Whether it's one person or a group of people doing it, they know of like a handful of other serial killers that they haven't been able to detect. But apparently this guy, they think they got him. So what a wonderful day. If it is in fact the case, he'll get his trial. He'll have his chance in court, because everybody deserves the chance to argue why they may be innocent or not, whatever. But if it is in fact the case that this is the guy that has killed like over a dozen people, F this guy and cheers. You know? Anyway, he looks a little off though. I don't know. It's easy to look back when somebody's been arrested for murder and be like, yeah, something was off, you know, because it's like, he might just have been weird. And then, you know, now that we know other stuff, or allegedly there's other stuff going on. Now we look back and we fill in the gaps and we're like, oh yeah, the warning signs were there. Well, were they? I don't know. You know, it's always really tough. Did they fix Wild Hearts? We're about to find out. I downloaded it through the EA Play thing on Steam. You can get 10 hours to try it before it like kicks you back out. So we're going to give it a shot. I don't think we're going to play it for 10 hours. I think we'll have an idea pretty quickly if they ever fixed it. But yeah, we're going to check it out. We're going to delve into it. Should be interesting. As for other stuff, little update on the Xbox situation. It looks as though there's a few different things happening. So the FTC, where is it? The FTC filed an emergency motion. Then Judge Corley denied it, saying that she's not going to stay her own order, which makes sense. Very, very rarely does that happen. Is guesstimating today we'll hear something from the Ninth Circuit. As far as I know, we haven't heard anything like that. Bloomberg also reports that Microsoft, this is interesting, is considering selling its UK cloud gaming rights to a telecommunications gaming or internet company to allow the ATVI deal to go through with the CMA. So what that would mean is like the CMA, if you remember, they were throwing a fit over Microsoft's cloud gaming stuff. They weren't really worried about COD being exclusive to Xbox. They were worried about Microsoft owning that company and having cloud streaming stuff, which is a really weird fit to throw, in my opinion. But apparently Microsoft's like, okay, if it gets the deal across with minor headaches, let's just sell the rights to cloud streaming to another company. And we just won't operate xCloud in the UK. Easy. So they might do that. Honestly, that's probably a no-brainer. That's probably way, way easier. Oh yeah, the thing with Meta Threads. I signed up for a Threads account just because it's like a button press because it's tied to your Instagram. I opened the app to do that and then I closed it and I haven't reopened it since. I see like no reason to browse it. Apparently their daily users are down 20% since Saturday, and user time spent on the platform's down 50%. I would guess most people are in my same position where they just like signed up for an account, so now they have it, and now they're just gonna wait until it has better features. It doesn't have like a chronological feed. It's got the same algorithm as Instagram, and it's just, I don't like Instagram anyway, so there's that. Anyway, besides this, Microsoft just filed a response to the FTC's emergency motion at the Ninth Circuit. Microsoft says, quote, the FTC's claimed emergency is entirely of its own creation, arguing that the FTC didn't seek an injunction through federal court until 6 weeks before the deal closed, arguing basically that it's in bad faith. They weren't actually trying to do this. This was like a last minute thing to try and throw the deal into chaos, which is probably fair. It's weird that this deal has been going on for like a year and a half, and then 6 weeks before the deal's closed, they come in and try to stop it. That's a little odd. I don't know what the tactical like explanation for that would be, but I don't know. It is weird to come in that late. They go on. Microsoft also claims the FTC could have filed its request for emergency relief earlier, as Judge Corley sent a copy of the ruling to both the FTC and Microsoft on Monday, June 10th. Quote, the court should not mistake the FTC's litigation gamesmanship for an emergency meriting this court's derivation from the ordinary appellate process, says Microsoft. Yeah, again, like they're like time's running out, so the court shouldn't act in super ultra fast motion to get this appellate matter settled, because the FTC didn't act in good faith and they came in at the last minute. So due process is really the question here. And I think that's fair. I mean, it's kind of slimy to come in at the last minute to throw a fit over these things. Yeah, this was pretty, this was pretty hardcore. The FTC now perversely responds that the pro-consumer benefit of increasing access to Call of Duty is somehow anti-competitive, because only one subscription service, Xbox Game Pass, will have Call of Duty post-merger. Motion 1415. But that is one more subscription service than the FTC's own expert predicted would have Call of Duty absent the merger. Yeah, I mean, they're like, it's the only subscription service, but that's one more than it would be on if the deal didn't go through, which is technically true. In characterizing this unambiguously pro-consumer outcome as anti-competitive, the FTC commits the cardinal sin of antitrust, mistaking a competitive disadvantage for a particular competitor, namely the market-dominant Sony, with harm to competition and consumers. Which is fair. There's a difference between anti-competitive and anti-competitor. And I think that's the main reason people feel as though this is just leaving a bad taste in their mouths, because most of the complaints just seem tied up in how this affects Sony and Sony's market domination and Sony's customer base, which the FTC really shouldn't be that concerned with. But anyway, let's see. Yeah, characterizing post-merger expansion of Activision content to new platforms and delivery mechanisms as, quote, perhaps bad for Sony, but good for Call of Duty gamers and future gamers. Yeah, it's the whole thing is just so messy, and it's going to be over soon, which is nice, because this has just been one headache after another for, at this point, like years. And so we're reaching the end of it soon. We won't have to listen to this garbage anymore. It'll just be settled, and then Microsoft will go try to buy Sega or something, and then we'll get to hear everybody freak out about that. Do you think, honest question, I'm going to do a poll on this. Do you guys think that there would be anywhere near as much hullabaloo if Microsoft went after Ubisoft? To be clear, I don't think they could waltz in and buy Ubisoft cleanly, because Ubisoft executives, the Guillemot brothers, don't want to sell, and it's also owned by Tencent. They own 49% of the holding company that the Guillemot brothers use to own their share of Microsoft or of Ubisoft. So I don't think that they could just waltz in and buy Ubisoft, to be clear. It wouldn't be like Activision, because Activision's board of directors wanted to sell to Microsoft because it was a really good deal. They were trading at like $60 a share, and Microsoft comes in and offers 95. That's a crazy good deal. However, do you think PS or PlayStation fans will be as upset if Microsoft tries to buy Ubisoft? Yes, no. Because they've had a rough go of it, I mean, it's not super popular to love on Ubisoft, just to be clear. And it's also, I don't think there's a ton of overlap between PlayStation fans, like hardcore fans, and Ubisoft hardcore fans. So I'm not sure if there's going to be a lot of people that are like, I play every Assassin's Creed game, and now they might be exclusive. So it might not be that big of a deal. But honestly, this is interesting. 45% of you guys right now are saying yes. 47, 49. Really? I would guess that people are upset, and I think it does certainly bring up antitrust concerns if they were to go and try to buy Ubisoft. I would not want that deal to go through, just to be perfectly clear. I would not want Microsoft to buy EA. I would not want them to buy Take-Two. I don't want Sony to buy Take-Two or EA. I don't want any of those big companies getting sold. I didn't want Activision being sold to Microsoft. I think that's worse for the industry long term. But there's a difference between what I want and what is allowed in our system. And that's where I've been. I'm like, I don't like this, but it's pretty clear that the deal should be allowed to go through based on our rules and based on US regulations and regulations for all of these other countries that are looking at it. But for some reason, people just don't want to talk about that. It's like, well, but you said the deal should go through, so therefore you like the deal. Like, no, I don't like the deal, but I think it should go through. Just like you might not like the outcome of like an Oscar ceremony. You might think that this other person should have won the Oscar. Like the fact that Christopher Nolan hasn't won an Oscar yet is amazing. I don't think he has, right? For Best Director. I don't think he's gotten one yet. Maybe I'm lying. Maybe it was for Best Film. I don't know. There's some Oscar he's missing, but like I can personally think that that should be the case, but I can still agree that, I thought Christopher Nolan should have won that, but this other director also did a great job. And, you know, I don't like the outcome. I would prefer a different outcome, but it is the way it is, you know? Am I going to watch Oppenheimer? Yes, I am. Yeah. He might for Oppenheimer. I hope he does. The buzz for that movie is It's pretty high, which is refreshing. Alphatron, thank you for the 2. I will say Ubi got some good things coming, I think. I think in like 2-3 years, they're going to be back a little higher in the industry. I just think they've had a rough 3-4 years. And hopefully it's just that they've been getting their ducks in a row and now it's all going to come together and it's going to be awesome. But we're going to find out. we're going to see. Mirage will be the first litmus test. And then after that, we're going to get Red, which Assassin's Creed Red is allegedly coming next year. Somebody on LinkedIn accidentally posted that. Oops. And so probably getting that next year. And yes, I think we're going to find out real quick. This is surprising. 65% of you are saying you think PlayStation fans will be as upset as the Activision deal if Microsoft tries to buy Ubisoft. Interesting. That's interesting. Because I think there's going to be a lot of people who are just like, oh, Mr. Michael. Mr. Michael's calling me. Hold on. Sorry, I'm on stream. What's up? Sorry, dude. If you're seeing this right now, I'm sorry. I'm on stream. Can't really start chatting. They're gonna be solid. Well, and to be clear, I would throw a fit over it because I don't think that deal would be good for the industry. Like, I don't want like all Assassin's Creed games exclusive to Xbox. As much as going on Game Pass for all of those would be really cool, I don't like that now there's another company that's been taken out of the realm of fair competition. That's not cool, you know? I watched your video on LA Noire, and as per your suggestion, I hopped on over to see if you're alive and say hi. Oh, that's wonderful, my friend. Simply Scary. That's great. Welcome. I'm glad. Don't you love it when things time out like that? That's great. Say hi to Michael for me. I can do that. Did he respond to me? He's going to come and visit the baby. Okay. Do I know who Fritanga plays? Fritanga plays is? I don't think so. No offense or I don't think I know who that is. Maybe if I saw them, I'd recognize them, but the name doesn't ring a bell. Wild Hearts is pretty good. One of my favorite this year, but the end game is really meh. So we're going to get into it here in just a few minutes, but I was really, really excited to get into Wild Hearts. I was really looking forward for another Monster Hunter style game with like building component aspect to it. I thought that looked super, super cool, but the game launched super buggy with a ton of problems. And we're going to kind of reevaluate those and look back at some of those problems so we can compare where the game is now. But yeah, it was pretty rough when it launched back in February. So we're going to see if they ever fixed it and patched it. On PS5, it runs better. But PS5 even, it still was a bit of a mess. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We're going to evaluate it. Luke and ACG are the only reviewers I trust. Yeah, didn't the ACG just pass 1 million subs? Cheers, dude. That's wonderful. Yeah, this time of year is always rough for reviewers because there's just nothing to review. Like, it's even for my channel where we do a lot of other stuff too. It's July is a rough month. Like, there's just not much to talk about. You're like, there's Exo Primal. What game, Luke? Exactly. So like, the whole thing is just, maybe we could try that Last of Us clone. Is there a way to play? I guess Rocky, you could look this up. Is there a way to play that Last of Us clone on PC? If it's like $10, I could just buy it on Switch. 'Cause it's like a Switch game, but yeah, The Last Hope. What's my take on the writer's strike? I mean, I think collective bargaining is good. Like, the fact that Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney, said that they couldn't find the money to pay writers more. So the demands were unrealistic, but he said that while at a conference full of dozens of billionaires. that all flew there on their private jets and stuff. It shows that there's a real out of touch aspect to this whole thing. And everybody's like I have a degree in corporate finance. I've studied this stuff. I know what they mean when the company is like, hey, we can't pay you X amount because then the company's value will drop here and it just doesn't work. I understand all of that much better than I think most people, because I studied it for 4 years. But like, just because it is that way currently doesn't mean that it can't change or it shouldn't be another way. That's the difference. Is like, yeah, if I were looking at my team and I'm like, I would like to be able to get to the point where I can have a studio where my employees can work full time in a studio space. I can provide health insurance. I can get them paid well enough that they can save, have retirement, IRA matching. I would love to have all of that stuff. We're not currently there because frankly, there's just not enough money to even pay for a studio space, much less like full salaries, full time, all over the year, have a team of like 3-4 people. It's just not there yet. Maybe eventually we'll get there in like a year or two, but as of right now, it's just not there. However, if I got there eventually and we were still working and operating out of like my home and I had a ton of extra cash, and then my employees came to me and were like, hey, we kind of need more money because we're barely scraping by. Meanwhile, you just went and bought a Bugatti or a Lambo or something. I don't know what really successful YouTubers do, but you just went and did that. Like, for me to be like, well, but if I were to pay you, I couldn't maintain our operations and all that. That would be really disingenuous. Because like, yeah, I could pay them better and make my employees' lives better. I might have to make a sacrifice of not driving a $300,000 car, but I think that's a worthy trade-off, you know? Like, I think you should want that. As a business owner, as somebody who has employees, you should want to make their lives better. And I'm a firm believer that happy work is better work. If my team is happy, they're going to do better work for me. So it's going to be better. So it actually ends up paying me back. Like, I'm not a believer that you can just have a team of miserable people that do decent work. I don't think that comes out.
$4.99. Here's the first few dollars for the Luke Stevens 40K channel.
Yeah, guys, for reference, thank you first of all, Tanner, for the $4.99. For those of you not aware, I have gotten into Warhammer. That's what this stuff is. I just assembled a handful of characters. You can actually see some of them. And come on, focus. I don't remember where I put the focus zone. Come on, focus. There we go. So there's a lot. These still have to be painted and everything. These are for the Thousand Suns army or faction. Come on. Focus. Focus, camera. Focus. There we go. So yeah, these guys are pretty cool. But this is my newest addiction. I'm screwed. I'm in trouble. As for a 40K channel, I think we'll do segments on the live stream. Like, I'm going to have segments or days where I'm like, hey, I want to do reactions and stuff, but I want to do some painting while we're doing it, which is why I installed this camera. So I can have something pulled up. Like, for example, I can have I can have like this screen up, and then if I want, I can even turn this on and I can be painting or doing other stuff here, right here, while we're doing reactions and stuff. So it should be kind of a good setup. I think we'll get it down. If I was rich, I would give a huge super chat to my favorite streamer. What's the max donation you make on YouTube, by the way? I have no idea, Jean. I really don't. And frankly, like, anytime anybody's like, hey, I want to make a big donation, first of all, you don't have to do that. I'm just glad you're watching. But like, we've had some people that are very insistent. Sean, our patron saint of the channel, he, for example, donated money for the Lego collection and Lego set. So like the Lego Titanic exists because of Sean. And so there's a little mini figure on the bow of the Titanic that is Sean, because he donated the Lego Titanic set. So some people just are insistent. They're like, no, I want to donate this. We'll do it for the channel. It'll be awesome. And in those cases, best way to do it is through PayPal, because they take a very, very small percentage. They take like maybe 2-3%, whereas YouTube's going to take 30% through super chats. So if you give like $10 through super chat, YouTube takes 3 of it, which I think is fair. I'm not one to throw fits about that. Just because YouTube's providing a service, the fact that we can all be hanging out live and watching videos and hanging out and stuff for free, that's amazing. Like, so if YouTube needs to take a little bit off the top to pay the bills, I'm totally fine with that. I have no problem with paying for a service I'm receiving. You know, it's the same thing with like people throwing a fit over paying for Twitter or something, like for Twitter Blue. I don't have an inherent problem with paying for an app that I use a lot. Like, you provided a service that I like, so I have no problem paying you. Some people say, well, but your information, your private information is payment. And that can be true in some cases. I think that's valid, but you get what I mean. Like, I'm fine with paying for something if I feel like I'm using it. Same with like, I loved The Witcher 3. I've probably bought 5-6 copies of The Witcher 3, or maybe even 10. I have no idea. But I've bought many copies of The Witcher 3 to kind of vote with my wallet. I like this game. Make more like it, you know? It's usually as like gifts. I gave my cousin a copy and bought Nikki a copy back in the day. So it's not like I'm just buying The Witcher 3 and putting it on the shelf or something. It's not like that. Anyway, are the ads better for you than premium subs? Are the ads better than premium sub? You mean like memberships? On the, like, for a stream like this that we're doing, it might make like $10, $15 in ad revenue over the lifetime of the stream. The ads really are not profitable. I mean, the ads aren't carrying these streams. But as I've said before, these streams aren't really a profitable venture yet, at least. The whole live channel loses money, technically, after you factor in the cost of me paying like my editor to go through and make stream clips and stuff. So anyway, he's asking if ad revenue is better than a member sub. I wouldn't say it's better. I mean, member subs is just like $2 or whatever. No, it's $3 because it's 70%. I think it's $3, but it's like $3 straight to me and to the team. Whereas you watching the stream, an ad might pay me like 1/10 cent. I don't know. YouTube Premium better than being like regular ads? Yeah, YouTube Premium, as far as I understand, pays just what the average would be for a typical person watching the video with all of the ads. But the great thing is people don't have to sit through the ads, and it actually makes you money. Whereas like ad blocker doesn't make the YouTuber anything. The YouTuber doesn't get anything from somebody watching the video with an ad blocker. So YouTube Premium is always great, and it greatly improves the watching experience, the viewing experience. I've used YouTube Premium since it was YouTube Red, and I cannot recommend it enough. It's great. Anyway, but I guess it doesn't apply to stream. Well, it's like you won't have to watch the ad when you click on the stream. You won't have to watch the ad when you first click on it, but I'll still get paid as if you did watch the ad. But ad revenue is so little on an individual basis, it doesn't really add up, you know? Yeah, YouTube Red or YouTube Premium is fantastic, especially if you watch a lot on mobile. You can download videos onto your YouTube app, so you can just have videos downloaded. If you're going on a plane and you won't have connection or service, you just have all these YouTube videos saved up. Don't have to do anything extra, nothing fancy. It's just ready to go. Or like you can turn the screen off while listening to videos. So no matter what the video is, you can listen to it like a podcast. It's great. It's great. Love it. Let's see. Where else are we at? Luke, you should make a video on Dave the Diver. I would like to. It's still very niche. It's still very niche. It sold 1 million copies, but compared to some of the other stuff we talk about, it's certainly very niche, I think. Oh, Jake's in here. Hey, Jake. I'm confused on why people are paying Elon for Twitter Blue. Are there really benefits compared to just using the app for free? Yeah, you can post much longer posts, and it also exposes your tweets to a larger audience. So for like businesses and stuff, it makes sense to pay for it. Or individuals that want the exposure, it makes sense to pay for it. Nadia's new career, thoughts? Is it like an actual career? Is she going cam model? Is that what it is? I don't know. Okay. For the record, Leo Lee sent me a link to Nadia. Praise be to Nadia. To her Twitter page, whatever. And I was like, oh, she must have done something stupid, like gotten caught for hacking or cheating again, or for using a VPN, whatever. And I clicked on it, and it's just like a series of pictures of her like making out with her girlfriend and then wearing bikinis and stuff. I felt very much baited. I was ready for like really funny cringe content of somebody trying to pretend they're really good at Warzone, but using a Cronus and stuff. And instead, it was just pictures of somebody like I felt lied to. I felt tricked. Now everybody's like, what? Whose Twitter thread is this? Calm down, guys. I'm hyped for Starfield. Xbox has the deal where you can get Game Pass for $1 now, and that's how I'm gonna get it. Yeah, that value is crazy. I did see they brought that back. They took away the exploit, but they brought that back. Oh, the text failed to send. Oops, hold on. Hold on, poor Mr. Michael. Mr. Michael, he tried to text me. Or tried to call. What's up? With like 7 Z's. Okay. She's headed the OnlyFans path. It's a different site, but that's along those themes. Her streams too, making out with girls. Oh. I did see her last we checked on her. Last we reacted to one of her things. She was at like 14,000 subs on Twitch, I think, which is like $28,000 to $35,000 a month just through subs. That's insane. And that's great. Good for her. But it dried up a lot. I think when I was browsing that Twitter page, she had a clip from her stream recently and she was down to like 3,500 subs, which, to be honest, is a great number. That's a lot of subs. That's a wonderful life. You're living very comfortably at that point. However, if she got used to spending like she was making $30,000 to $40,000 to $50,000 a month, which is super common. A lot of these Twitch streamers get in there, they make a little bit of money because they see a huge spike in subs. Then they go and they buy a fancy house, they buy fancy cars, and then it calms down and it smooths down. And they're like, oh crap, my car payment is $7,000 a month. My house payment is $14,000 a month. What am I going to do? My bank account's draining, and they freak out. And that's when you see them move to OnlyFans. Which, hey, if you've got it, flaunt it, right? If you've got it, flaunt it. But yeah, it's super common. That lifestyle creep, you're exactly right, character. That happens real quick. Some people, they get a taste of money, and then they just go hard. And like, a lot of these people are not investing their money. One thing, to Amaranth's credit, you might think Amaranth, oh, she's just a cam model. She is a smart cookie. She bought triple net leases. What's a triple net lease, Luke? Exactly. Like, you have to kind of know what you're doing as far as real estate investments go to go and buy a triple net lease for gas stations and fast food restaurants and stuff. You have to know what you're doing. That's wild. Yearn, thank you. 6 months. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby, can't stay for long, but hi, excited to be a member of this fam. Yeah, I'm excited you're here too, my friend. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. What is a triple net lease? So, real quick, and then we'll get into Wild Hearts. Well, first, I want to talk about my Logitech headphones, which are tremendous. But before we do that, just to explain this to you, I will keep this to what should I do? Like 2 minutes? I should have a timer. So like I can't ramble for longer than I want to here. Clock. Timer 2 minutes. Okay, so I cannot talk about it for more than 2 minutes. Okay. A triple net lease is just so it's a lease agreement on a property whereby a tenant lessee promises to pay all the expenses of the property, including real estate taxes, insurance, and maintenance. So the reason it's called triple net is because it catches the 3 different categories of stuff. So it captures not just like the actual rent, but taxes, insurance, maintenance costs. So it captures all 3 of those. What that means effectively is for like big companies like McDonald's or Burger King, Starbucks, a lot of these places, the landlord will own the property. However, the company that owns the business on top of that pays the taxes. They pay the insurance. They pay the mortgage and everything. So you just kind of own it, and then they operate and pay all the bills. So you just kind of sit on it. The only way it goes bad is if, like we had this happen in a place close to us, is if there's like a Burger King operating in a building that's paying a triple net lease to the owner, and then they leave, like the business shuts down or whatever, and then you're left with the property and a bunch of fixtures, a bunch of fryers or grease traps and things stuck in the building, and it's really, really hard to turn that property over. So there's a little bit of risk involved, but a lot of people do this. And like my old boss, he would go in and he only invested in Dollar Generals for like 3-4 years. This is all he bought. This guy's worth tens upon tens of millions of dollars, and all he was buying were Dollar Generals. He was buying Dollar Generals. One day I came into work and he was buying a Dollar General in Georgia that I had never seen. He had never seen. He wasn't flying out to buy it. He signed everything remote. He bought a Dollar General sight unseen simply because it was a triple net. It was operational and it was good money. Okay. Now I'll shut up. Oh, golly. Yeah, I'm sure Amaranth has a ton of advisors in your ear. Credit for listening to them. Yeah, once you reach, so like Charles Schwab, this is a slight tangent, but like Charles Schwab, they have wealth advisors. And if you go into like a relatively wealthy city, you'll see it. Like if you go into Boulder, if you go into Fort Collins, Denver, you'll see buildings that have wealth advisor on the side. And you're like, what is a wealth advisor? Wealth advisors are like companies where all they do is a wealthy person comes in, hands them their money and says, make this bigger, please. I either don't know how to do it, or I don't have the time to learn or figure it out. So please, you just handle it. And they're like, okay, thank you. And they take it and they'll go and buy real estate with it, or they'll go and buy a bunch of stocks with it and manage it for you with people that really know what they're doing. And so for her, I have no doubt she went and she has a wealth advisor company that works with her, and then they're just helping her grow it. Most of those companies, because I've spoken to some of them, and they only start talking to you once you have $500,000 to deposit with them in cash. Not so you can't just have your house. Like you have to have 500 grand cash before they even talk to you. And that's for like their starter package. That's where they take that, they'll start investing it so you can just forget about it and move on. You can tell them, oh, I want a monthly payout. I want a yearly payout with dividends, or I don't care. I don't want to touch it until I'm 50. So just make it grow really quickly. And then they'll handle that. It's not a bad idea. If you are not a finance savvy person, let people who have like PhDs in it do it for you, right? Like, why would you think you can outsmart them? It's the thing that bugs me the most about like really young people who are doing the finance thing, that are like, no, I just did some YouTube watching and some Googling, and I own like 3 NFTs. So I kind of know what I'm talking about with finance. And I will just say that I think you should do this, this, and this, and buy this stock because it's totally going to blow up to the moon, baby. I'm like, do you really think you know better than the person that has like 2 PhDs in this, that works for a multi-billion-dollar hedge fund with billions of dollars on the line? Do you think that you've outsmarted them, or do you think that they're just so far ahead of you that you have no idea what you're talking about, and they're just waiting for the prime time to strike and take you out? Like, Very, very rarely does anything else, like very, very rarely do they lose. The GameStop thing was exceptional because the GameStop thing was an instance where they lost big. A hedge fund went belly up and it was a big deal, but that was exceptional because it was exceptional. It was very, very rare that anything like that happens. My mouse is dead. There we go. So yeah, and even after that, they still ended up winning. Like, I don't know if you guys have followed that since, but it's a handful of hedge funds came in and they cleaned out a bunch of people who were trying to do it again, trying to do the squeeze again, and it didn't work. Anyway, let's take a quick moment. Whoop. Okay, I just wanted to take a quick moment to say thank you to a sponsor who has been very generous, very, very supportive of the channel. Just real quick. The one and only Astro A30 headset. Ooh, baby. From Logitech G. If you'll indulge me for just a moment, these things are just a really nice, clean gaming headset with a detachable microphone. I don't have it plugged in because obviously I have a different microphone hooked up to my whole system. But in addition to being a wireless headset that's really, really nice, you can also wire it in if you want higher quality audio going straight to it, which for my setup works great because I, of course, have, if you've watched the studio tour, I have a pretty elaborate setup, so it can get a little complicated to get things running the way I want, but you can also wire it direct in. It has a 127-hour battery life, so I'm not going to need to charge this thing probably for another month and a half, 2 months. Like, it's outrageous how good this battery is. And it's just a really, really solid headset. Not only does it have all of that stuff, but it also, on the side, I guess I could show you this too. On the side, on the bottom, it has USB-C charging, which is wonderful because we live in the 21st century. That's wonderful. And then also has this little controller knob here, which you can use to tweak the proportion of like game audio versus voice audio that you hear, chat audio, because this headset also works on any of your modern consoles, which is also great. Like, none of that garbage where you buy a headset and then you get home and you realize, oh, this is a headset only for this console that I don't have. That's terrible. And no, it just works. They also have a Logitech G mobile app. I don't actually have a way of plugging in my phone to demonstrate this, but basically it lets you, through the app, control presets for audio. If you like really heavy bass, you can crank that. If you like 1K section down lower, you can pull that down. One thing some people do is with games like Warzone or Apex or whatever, footsteps are at a specific frequency. And so you can actually crank your EQ in your headset up in that frequency for footsteps. So you can hear footsteps coming before other people that are playing with you, which is a little bit, it's an advanced strat. I did it when I was going hard at Warzone. I got into the EQ and I cranked the EQ at the footstep frequency, whatever it was. I think it was like 220 hertz or something was the thud of it. And yeah, that's something you can do just natively within the Logitech G mobile app with this headset, which is just, that's just cool. In addition, they also have the ear cups that actually go over your ears. These aren't any that are going to sit on your ears. And real talk, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, real talk, honesty moment. I have big ears. I'm just going to say it like it is. These things, these are sales. Dumbo ain't got nothing on me. And so it can be kind of hard to find a headset that is compact in its design that also fits over my ears, and these do. So even if you're like, Luke, I've got big ears, I don't know if these are gonna work. They'll work. I doubt you have a head bigger than mine or ears bigger than mine. I'm just being real with you. So as you've seen, I've been wearing this headset for pretty much all of July so far, and I've been a loyal Logitech G user for a long time. These over here, crammed all the way up here, are my old faithful Astros. You guys have seen me wearing this headset for years and years and years, and so I'm a loyal Astro user. And this is coming from a guy that also has like Sennheiser headphones and everything. You see me using these headsets all the time on stream or in videos and stuff. And it's because the quality is great. Audio quality is great. They're comfortable for long sessions. And that's all you can really ask for, right? So I recommend you check out the Astro A30 headset. I actually have a link for you guys. I'm going to pop into chat if you want to check it out. I would appreciate it because they're just clean headsets. There we go. I can copy this and post that in. Oops, I copied the wrong thing. Okay. That didn't work either. Sorry, copying text from Discord never really works that great. And yeah, just to be clear, everybody, Astro is a sponsor. I mentioned that at the top. Astro is a sponsor of me, of the main channel content here. It's why we've got the logo up there. And they've been a fantastic partner. So really, truly, thank you, Logitech G for all you do, for making things magical and wonderful. There we go. And I'm going to also tweak this. Boop, boop, boop. Put that there. Okay, Jake. I got that. Okay. Okay. Sweet. Sweet. Let's see. I'm gonna get back in 30 minutes. We're still on here. Yeah, we should be. That's awesome. Yeah, Luke has legit been using Astros long before the sponsorship. I wonder if I could go back and see how long I've used Astro headsets, because I think I'm pretty sure these are the A50s up here from like 3-4 years ago, and it was when I was like super broke and Nikki and I weren't even engaged yet. And then Caleb, my buddy that just got me into Warhammer, who we need to make fun of because he just started something. But he and Nikki teamed up. I think it was a birthday present for me. And they knew that my old headset was kind of falling apart. It just, it was pretty beat up. I had used it for a while. And so I've been using like those like free Apple corded headphones that used to come in like an iPhone box when they included those still. And so they were like, we got to help Luke out. So Nikki, my now wife, and Caleb, my best friend, teamed up and split the cost of that Astro headset for me. And so I've used that for a long time. Like a long time. I love the Astro stuff. I think they're the best on the market. My brother has used Astros for a long time. I like them, but I don't like my ears being covered, so I use earbuds. Yeah, I totally get that. Some people are sensory or very sensitive to that sensory aspect. I like it over the ear. I can't stand on ear stuff. I know some people like the on ear stuff. I don't like that. I like over ear, and I'll occasionally use like in ear earbuds and stuff, but I just like, they get uncomfortable after a little while, like my ear starts to bruise or something. I don't know what it is. Favorite faction Warhammer. I'm just getting started. Star Killer. I'm just getting started, so I don't really know a lot of it. We're talking, this whole thing is maybe 2 weeks old since like starting to where we are now. My army is a work in progress. I have close to a dozen models assembled. I have a couple painted, and like, look how crappy these are. Okay, I'm just gonna show you. I'm gonna show you the first two as a learning experience. These are the first 2 models I painted, and they're not bad, but they're not good. Okay, you're gonna see, like, I got really busy. I started painting too quickly, so I put on another layer before the other one dried, so they seeped together and made a weird color. There's stuff like that. But like, focus, like this guy, I think it was the second one I ever painted a couple days ago. So he turned out okay. And then this, no, this is the second. That's the first guy I painted. Focus. Focus, camera. Camera. There we go. And then this is the second guy I painted. So I am very early on in this obsession. You can see where the paint dripped down because I wasn't patient. So it seeped out down onto the base. But it's, I mean, I'm doing the base last, so who cares? But yeah, it's a work in progress. You got to start somewhere, right? You got to start somewhere. So these little fellas are the first of many that are going to be built. But it's fun. It's satisfying. And like I showed you earlier, I have like all of these to paint as well, in addition to like 6 more of those. So it's a process. It's a process. It's a whole thing. Did you 3D print them? No, I got them at or through Games Workshop. You have to get them through Games Workshop, otherwise you can't play in like tournaments and stuff. You can 3D print them, but you just can't go to anything official if you do that. Okay. Yakuza 0? No, I started it though. You should have the fam paint one, even it'll take a ride, even if it'll take a ride a while. Yeah, I'll have Lockie help me with one. That'd be cute. That would be very cute. Oh wait, Digital Foundry looked at The Last Hope. Okay, again, for those of you who have not seen this game, this is like a knockoff, straight up rip of The Last of Us. Okay, that's why it's like, it's funny. I mean, it's pretty scandalous, but you're gonna see really quickly. It's like not even a good one. Okay, and Digital Foundry apparently looked at it.
Warning, the following program pulls no punches, so buckle up and enjoy the ride. From APB Reloaded to Life of Black Tiger and beyond, we've covered some real stinkers here on Digital Foundry. Heck, the Ghost of Phoenix Past even left us a hot steaming gift of 12 horrible Phoenix games a few years back. Boom! I knew bad games, or so I thought. You see, while the unearthing of the ET cartridges,
Where is it? I want to just show
really
you.
put West Connection
Yeah,
on the
this is
map
it.
for many of us. It all started this month when this image went viral on social media featuring Ellie from The Last of Us with the serial number filed off. The tactic worked though, and the digital detritus spread like wildfire
Dude, the shirt is the same.
across the internet, along with this thrilling trailer.
The decision was made to send a man into the future to investigate.
Okay, I like how they have to say footage does not represent actual gameplay, as if they're like, listen, I know this looks great, but it might look worse when the video actually, or when the game actually comes out.
To prevent,
Like,
to save the world from an inevitable disaster. Brian Lee, a soldier, a father, a hope.
Okay, you heard that music, right? You heard the voice acting, you saw those story sequences, even with the disclaimer text that it does not represent actual gameplay.
Yeah.
I was surprised to learn that none of this stuff made it into the game. The Last Hope has 0 voice acting, virtually no music, and basically nothing else resembling that trailer. So if you thought that trailer looked bad, you haven't seen anything yet. Now the game begins with this
like, I don't like beating up on small indie devs who are just trying to get started. You know, I don't like beating that up. But when you like straight up copy and paste Ellie's model into your game, I think we have the right to make fun of you a little bit, you know? I think a little. This ripoff still looks and plays better than the official PC version. Yeah, PC version was a little rough. It was
Unity
a little
splash
rough.
screen, followed by a completely static title screen that resembles key art from Ubisoft's
Yeah, The Division. Isn't that just The Division?
The Division. You know, the whole backpack wearing soldier man walking
I bet that's like, I wonder if, can we do like a reverse Google search? I don't actually know if this is going to work. Google image search. I just want to see. It doesn't look like this exact image has ever. Maybe a lot of these are close. This one's super close. I mean, it's honestly, it's probably just Midjourney. They probably just got it from Midjourney, I'm guessing. But yeah, this is so close to so many other
into a
game
desolate city with his back
posters.
turned to the camera thing. Yeah, they nailed it. From this menu, then you can select from New Game, Loading, or Controls. If you select New Game, you'll be treated to a series of still images with poorly written slides explaining the situation at hand.
Government discloses shocking revelations about future crisis and launches investigation invention of time machine, raises concerns over impending zombie outbreak and human survival.
The game then loads into an exceptionally choppy first-person cutscene showing your character waking up in a hospital room. Welcome to the Last Hope, I guess. You play as time-traveling Commando Brian on his quest to save humanity, I suppose. It's not entirely clear. Your first objective is to leave the hospital, and it's here that you'll start to feel your soul slipping away. This hospital consists...
I wonder if these guys sent me a review copy. Hold on, I'm gonna check. So many of these companies send me like requests for reviews. The Last Hope. Let's see. No. Lord of the Rings Gollum game. No. It would be so funny if they sent me one so I don't have to buy it. The Last Hope. Oh my god, dude, they they did. They totally did. Okay. It's through like, I don't think I could show the email, but it's through a company that like collects indie projects, then tries to like market them to creators to do content on. So I don't know if it's like official or not, but they totally did. Okay, so we might have to do a video on this, ladies and gents. That could be pretty funny. That could be pretty funny. Okay, anyway, we'll get back to that one when we get a little closer. Let's see. Technically, we could argue that Switch games are mobile games. Yeah, I think that's fair. They look pretty similar too, a lot of the time. I hear a lot of the art is AI generated. Yeah, well, that's why like when people freak out about the AI art stuff, I'm like, you can make a decent picture pretty quickly, sure, but it's not going to just replace artists, as you can see. Like, it's not going to just make it so you can fire everybody. It's a great tool in the hands of somebody that knows what they're doing, that can get the basic image and then go in there and tweak it and stuff. Then it becomes really powerful and useful. But it's not going to replace like game designers and stuff, you know? Like, clearly not. Wasn't the Secret Invasion intro all AI generated? I don't know. IGN, Assassin's Creed Mirage to get official gaming suit that lets you feel parkour and punches. Yeah, Adam, we talked about that yesterday briefly. Me and my team are reaching out to that company, and we're going to try to get one of those suits for a video. I think it will be really funny. So wait patiently. We're going to try. We're trying. But we're going to see if we can get a suit to wear and then play Assassin's Creed Mirage and see if we can feel sword stabs and stuff. I don't know how it works. I don't know if it works, but we're gonna find out. Somebody, hey Luke, love your streams. I'm usually lurking. Well, thank you for being here, my friend. I appreciate you. Can you wear it as pants? Probably. I have an emote for finance. Hold on. Okay, let me. I love it. Open in browser. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Here, guys, this is what Rocky made an emote with. Stonks. Yeah, this is me when I got my picture taken for my commercial real estate job. It's all fancy. Look at me wearing the tie and everything. With a collar that's still a little too big. Oh, man. He was so young. He was so innocent. He got it taken at JCPenney. Would have been cheaper. Would have been a lot cheaper. The company paid for it, so I didn't have to pay for it, to be fair. But I was told it was a pretty expensive photographer in like the heart of Denver. And I was like, it's an expensive photographer. Okay. But his studio was like near train tracks and it was kind of sketchy. It was really weird. It's really weird. Okay. The Wild Hearts. Okay. Wild Hearts. Okay, that looks good. Where was my original? Because we did a stream way back in the day. Okay. Yeah, this was. Okay, now let's get to the PCs. Check them out at Apex. You have to make sure. Okay, let's see that you don't give people any reason. Rain, snow, whatever the hell this is. Yeah, look how bad that looks. Sorry, Luke of the past. I'm gonna mute you. Look at this. So this is what we were dealing with before. This is what the snow looked like. For some reason, it was like really, really bad. I think we found it was tied to motion blur. But there were a handful of these features that just didn't work. They just looked horrible. And then even then, you'll see like the frames are dipping all over the place. It's just really inconsistent. And yeah, so 65, climbing up that wall, back into the high 70s. And it just doesn't look bad or it just looks really bad. For some reason, it just can't manage itself. And I go into the settings, I'm tweaking those, trying to figure out what it is. And we come back. And then the snow looks better when we turn that off, but it's still, the performance is really, really off. And you can see the frames are dipping between like 30 and 60. It's all over the place. It's just not good. This is not good. So my question is whether or not they ever fixed it. And we're going to find out right after I figure out why the EA launcher is giving me an error code. Upstream service unavailable. Okay, code 10. I don't know what that means. You gotta love it. The EA launcher is just wretched. It's just wretched, I tell you. Anyway. The EA launcher may be the worst one. Yeah, I mean, dude, it's pretty it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Okay, now I gotta use my Steam app to verify. Steam. Approve. Okay. Allow. Now it's going to make me verify my email. God damn it. Sorry. This whole thing, you know, the EA launcher, man, they keep you on your toes by not working. Okay. Collapse that. Voila. I think so. The Xbox app is really bad too. It is also really bad. Launch. Okay. Maybe. Hey, what we got? Let's give it a second. Give it a second. EA FC 24 looks so trash. Isn't that what people have been saying for like a decade? And for some reason, everybody keeps buying them. Like, when was the last time one of those games launched and people went, wow, this is actually really good? I don't think there ever has been a time. Okay. EA Originals. Okay. Okay. If I'm cool with 1080p 60, how much would I realistically have to pay for a PC? Well, it's also 1080p 60 on what settings? Like on low, you can get that probably for like $500-600. Medium is probably more around $700-800, and then high, you're probably over $1,000, I would think. It just depends, like, because now also it's like, are you running 1080p on high with like ray tracing stuff? Because then you got to go 40 series, and the 40 series cards are going to be more expensive, and it's just, the whole thing kind of follows from there. It's just me, or does the UI look really weird? Sorry, controller turning on. Can everybody hear it okay? Do. Sorry, I'm telling Michael to bring Taco Bell, because that sounds really good. Dude, a quesarito, I don't care what anybody says. A quesarito hits different. Yes, it's like a diarrhea pill. It just will make it happen. But dude, it's worth it. It's so good. A steak quesarito. Steak quesarito. Steak quesarito. I don't know what Nikki wants. Okay, Spectre of the Eclipse. A new light-devouring kimono. The Tsukuyomi has appeared at the Fusagi Fort. Ah! If you are to defeat this tyrannical territory seeker, you must bring all your hunting skills and knowledge to bear against it. Okay, news, quests and side content. Okay, Alpha, Venom Glider. Prepare to lock horns with Alpha Kimono. Okay. Okay, buying this upgrade gives you access. Are they already trying to sell me stuff? Sure are. Okay, well. And now the game's locked up? Come on, dude. No way. So we're not off to a great start. If you try to buy the thing, the game will soft lock. Okay, well, I guess Alt F4 then, right? Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to bear the brunt of not having my save data preserved from the main menu. Okay, let's try this again. Oh, and stop trying to update. That's gonna make the tank, or the stream tank. Okay. Okay, not a great start. It's okay. We'll get there. We'll get there. Last time I went to Taco Bell, I got the wrong order in line. So I'm so long, so I just ate it and got food poisoning from it. Oh no. Oh no. Leo, it's okay, Luke. Just go for it.
EA Originals.
EA Originals. You are lucky you were able to launch the game on the EA launcher. I can't even get that to happen. Really? Semi-Cyclops? Oh, that's... Also, by the way, Semi-Cyclops is a really funny name. That's really, really funny. Okay. Continue. At least now we're... Okay. That was quick. Oh, wait. Hold on. Performance stats. Oh, God, no. The stuttering is still here. Oh, no. Oh, God. What is that? Yeah, you ain't got nothing, chump. Okay, that was pretty rough. that was rough. That bit was rough.
But venture with caution.
I want to be fair. Maybe it's just shaders compiling and it's gonna be compiled after this. Let's also double check settings. 4K full screen, 144 high. High. Before anybody's like, you should lower the settings. Just to be clear, I'm running this on a 4090. If this thing struggles with a 4090 to run decently on PC, we know we have bigger issues, okay? But I think it's fair to test it at that level. Oh, there's a stutter. Oh, God. It's such a bummer, dude, because this doesn't seem that bad. Like, in terms of content, I mean. Classic EA polish. Yeah, I just don't know how after... What has it been? 4 or 5 months? They still have not done, like, much of anything? Okay, let's see if they at least fixed the motion blur thing, because that was the most horrendous element to this. So we go all the way down. Motion blur enabled. Apply. It seems like that's better. Okay, so they fixed the motion blur thing. It looks like the snow is still snow. I would still say it's not a great look. But it's not terrible. I mean, I think it's way better than it was. So they did that. I'll give him that. Then there's the Beastie Boy. Now we're at 90. Oh, also, I should test that. We were at 60 frames climbing up this wall before. Let's see if it does run better. Okay. We're up closer. We're in the 100 range, 90 frames. Okay. It's not bad. This cutscene looks way better than I remember it looking. Oh, I dodged that. Oh. That was not bad. Oh. Oh! Oh, the drop to 30 frame cutscenes is a bold choice. Yeah, this is on PC. Literally, like, the top end PC you could get, it runs like this. Then he has a heart attack because he was eating too many trans fats. Honestly, cool intro. Okay. The thing is, like, in some types of games, stutters aren't that big of a deal. But in a game that's about precise timing of attacks and dodges, stutters are a really big deal. It matters. Like in a cutscene like this, if it drops from 30 down to 29, who cares? Whatever. I mean, I prefer it stay steady if it's all the way down at 30, but still, I can forgive it. However, in a game like this, in gameplay against bosses, you can't do it. You can't do that. It's gotta run way better than that.
Let the spirits in the Karakuri join.
Yeah, and to be clear, this is 4 to 5 months. 4 to 5 months after launch. It's just clearly not been a priority for them. Like, if we look at the Steam reviews, we'll see what the next chapter's like, but game was released on February 16th with minor technical issues I could ignore. As the days went on and more patches were put in place, the performance steadily went into decline. On June 20th, today, we had a new patch, and currently the game will not get past the loading screen. I do not recommend this game and advise players opt out of seeing this game on the store page. Crashed 5 times in 30 minutes. Do not buy unless they fix it. The game is bad, but it has some serious issues. Or game isn't bad, but it has some serious issues like heavy stuttering, very poor optimization, especially the Steam version. Yeah, it seems as though it's all shader compilation stuff. But with shader compilation, the thing is, it should be better on a subsequent run. Like, once you've acquired those shaders and they've compiled, it shouldn't stutter anymore. So what I think we should try doing is probably, honestly, going back and seeing if that same section stutters at all. Because that will tell us if it is, in fact, shader compilation. So let's go back. Let's try just new game. We'll see if it does it again. Because now that those shaders have compiled, in theory, if that's what it is, it shouldn't stutter anymore. Okay, new game. Let's do that. If game is patched, very likely they get invalidated, the cache. Well, now, my understanding is the only way that you invalidate the cached shaders is with usually an update to the game or swapping drivers. And okay, so here we go. So like this section we didn't go through before, so this might still stutter. Yeah, it is. However, once we get to that snowy bit, it shouldn't stutter anymore. And at that point, like, this is the same problem that Callisto Protocol had. You remember Callisto Protocol stuttered like crazy, and it only fixed once they patched it with something that basically forced it to pre-compile shaders. And I don't know anything about game development in detail with coding and stuff, so I don't know how easy it is to add something like that. But it seems like if your game is widely known to have terrible stuttering because of shader compilation issues, you should just find a way to get the shaders compiled before gameplay starts. Like, that doesn't seem that scandalous to me. Then he drops dead. Ooh. Like, I'd say this is playable. It's not great, but I'd say this is playable. It's against the bosses where it just becomes really frustrating. And that's probably another thing to mention is stuttering like this is not... Like, it's not game breaking in a lot of ways. Like, you could still play the game. It wouldn't be that big of a deal. But it is super frustrating when you're taking on bosses. And then this happens, you know? Okay, now cutscene. So we skip this cutscene and then we should be... We go into the cave, we talk to the person, and then it happens. Okay. This or Monster Hunter? Oh, Monster Hunter all the way. Monster Hunter's way better. I was hoping that this would be like a baby brother to Monster Hunter. This would be like pretty good. And at least relatively close. And from what I've heard, some people that have played this on on PS5, for example, really enjoyed it and have compared it to that. Come on, there you go. Not even touching the front wall. You just walk normal through that. You don't have to squeeze. Okay, we'll talk to this person. So we don't need to see this to evaluate that performance. I just want to get to the snow section to see if they actually fixed the stuttering. Or if the shaders are the issue. Remove your hat. Oh my god, it's horrible. Victor, it's pretty bad. Pick the one that looks kind of like Nikki. Confirm. Yeah, let's just finish. I don't care. Player name. It. That's prohibited? What about just ASDF? Okay, that's allowed, but the other thing isn't, apparently.
Tell me.
Oh no, the hair. Look at the hair.
Mind, or might I offer a suggestion? East of the sacred mountain here, beyond the old blossom trail known as the Harugasumi Way, lies Minato. A small town.
Oh, God Eater or Dauntless? Yeah, I tried Dauntless. I thought it was... Like, I could see why people would play it, but I was like, honestly, I think I would just go play more Monster Hunter World, like start a fresh run through. Wasn't as deep as I wanted. Just wasn't doing it for me. I honestly prefer the combat and aesthetic of Wild Hearts over Monster Hunter, but Monster Hunter has so much content, it's kind of hard to choose between Wild Hearts over it, or choose Wild Hearts over it. Taking that out of the equation, though, I like Wild Hearts more. I think that the, like, construction aspect and the ability to kind of run and gun different quickly assembled traps and things is really, really cool. That hair, though. So I think that that's a really unique aspect that this game has. But it's frustrating that they just apparently have not given a crap about patching this. Like, it's just not a priority. But okay, so from here, we've already played this, so this all should have pre-cached shaders. This should be good. And we shouldn't see any stutters if it is shaders. There's a little one. That was small enough that it might have been like him stepping in the water or something like that that he didn't do last time. Yeah, it's definitely shaders. It had stuttered way more than this by this point last run. Yeah. Okay, well that's what it is. It's just damn frustrating. They haven't fixed that like I don't know what I'm talking about, and we just figured out what the problem is. And honestly, once it's patched, once it runs well, I'd have no problem going through it on PC, but they've just totally seemingly abandoned the PC port. They did fix, to be fair, they did fix the motion blur thing. That is something they fixed. I'll give them that. This doesn't look good at all. I mean, I agree. It's not like a graphically super impressive game. Like, look at the close-up on the, like, body of the beast. The skin of his lips and stuff. See? It's not great, but like these games are not necessarily about having the highest fidelity or the best subsurface scattering or anything. It's about the gameplay, which is why the only real problem is with the frames, because that affects all of this. I still got my head off. The camera also is not great at tracking. Zero deaths. It's still... Maybe there's something more going on, because it shouldn't be stuttering in cutscenes. Because the cutscene should be the same every time. And so any shaders it would have used during the cutscene should have been used last time. So I don't know why it would still be stuttering. Maybe it's data streaming stuff because it's trying to load in the big beastie boy. I don't know. Either way, there's a huge problem with frame pacing and timings and like there's just a lot going on here. And then they'll plummet to 30. Koei Tecmo make kind of ugly games, IMO, but some of those games are great. Yeah, like, to be clear, I don't think a game needs to be graphically stunning to be worth playing. Like, I think that's fine. No, 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 no. Like, that's beautiful. I love that. But yeah, I do think the answer at this point is probably, did they fix it? No. I don't think so. Valheim, perfect example. Yeah, and even that, just the art choice was phenomenal. The art style choice. It just looks great. Even though on paper it shouldn't look as good as it does, but I think it ends up looking pretty good. Let's get through here and see if this new area has the same problem. Just skip through this. Cam. Hunter vision. Extract the thread. Chop, chop, chop. It's a really cool concept. I do love this mechanic. Like, I think that that's awesome. I just wish that it worked a little better on PC. For those of you out there who have played on like console, how is it for you? Is it much more better? You can also use crates to attack. Nice. Like this part, at this point, this isn't bad. This is still working. I might eat my words here in a minute, but certainly workable. Little load screen. Valheim is one of my favorite games of all time. Love it so much. And that's a surprising game too. It came out of nowhere. You guys remember when that launched? It was like, what? Miss Nikki. Michael very generously, Michael and Kara, his wife, they offered to bring Taco Bell when they come to visit. And so of course I requested a quesarito, but Nikki must be getting distracted because she hasn't requested anything. Not even a quesadilla. The mad woman. Oh, well, she's dying. Conjure dragon. Campfire, hunter's tent. Yeah, this is super cool. Oh, the dragon pit isn't powerful enough. Please hold. Sweet. Yeah, wasn't there like 10 to 20 people who made it? Yeah, it was a very small project, and I saw an interview, like a written interview that they had done, that was really, really interesting, and they were just very candid. They're like, honestly, we never expected this to be this popular. We were just kind of expecting a small little group to come in, maybe a devoted player base. We'd get started, and because it launched in early access, it launched to a pretty small group, they thought, and then it ended up just exploding. Didn't it launch like right as COVID lockdown started? Oh God. Stand up. Why am I still just crouched? Oh, there's some stutters. Nice. Oh, he charged it and got hit. Ooh, baby. Bah. Okay. Dude, I have so much healing. But like this character design, super cool. Ugh. Oh, baby. Oh. Oh. You ain't going nowhere. He's probably going somewhere. Yeah, very Monster Hunter-y in a good way. Knocked over a tree. Jeez. Yeah, it's free. A lot of reviews talking about ping and server problems. Oh, really? Oh, Naraka's free? That's good. So we played Naraka. They reached out to me and they offered to sponsor a video where I went back and I tried it. Because I had played it a good amount, actually. I played it with my buddy Caleb. And I thought it was really fun. I mean, it's a very different kind of battle royale. Very much like melee focused on movement. Until you've played a lot, there's not a whole lot of humans you'll actually fight. There's a lot of bots for the first like 5 hours you're playing probably. But after that, man, it can get pretty crazy. I'll click these. Okay. But hearing it's going free to play is awesome. It was on Game Pass for a while. So I guess they just finally decided it was worth actually getting people to just play it for its own sake. Oh, there's a little stutter. Honestly, though, this is workable. This is workable. There are some stutters, but it's not like so bad that you couldn't work through it. I need to stop building 4. Ugh. Building 4, just too much. I'm getting greedy. Movement's a little sluggish, but honestly, this is very, very doable. Very doable. Oh no, he's sitting on it. That's funny. Oh! Sucks to suck, dude. Boom, boom, boom. Rage claw. Rage tail claw. Am I dyslexic that I just read that as rage claw instead of rage tail claw? Oh, there's a stutter. So after the fight, it seems to me they fixed some stuff. Like the biggest thing was that motion blur. That motion blur thing was terrible. Oh, now it's stuttering a lot for some reason right here. That's odd. However, it's, yeah, see, why is it stuttering now after the boss fight? How does that make any sense? Yeah, like what? Okay. Whatever. We're going to a new place, I guess. Did we come up this way? Is this where we came from? I have no idea. Whatever is happening. However, it's still pretty stuttery, pretty aggressively, but I think it's workable. But to be fair, and just to be transparent with everybody, this is running on a 4090 and it's getting like 70 frames, dropping down into the 50s at times, sometimes down into the 20s at a couple of bad spots. It's all over the place. And you can see the CPU utilization is around 50%. GPU is at 90-ish. So there's some bottleneck somewhere in the system. But even still, it's clearly not well optimized. And so your mileage will certainly vary. But the nice thing is if you have EA Play through Steam, which is the program where you can pay like $5, I think it's $5 a month, maybe it's 10, but I think it's 5. And you get a 10-hour demo to try this yourself if you want to see if it's worth it for you. And I think that's a great option, which is what I'm doing here. I didn't buy it cash or anything. Because previously I tried it and it was so bad, I immediately returned it. However, this, I think I could see myself probably playing it at that point. But it's still, as far as I'm concerned, it's still unacceptable that after 4 to 5 months, you've not fixed the shader compilation issues. That's baffling to me. It's running on a 4090 from Apex Gaming PCs. Exactly. Sure is. Sure is, baby. Does it stutter when loading in a new area? No. So what it seems to be, we tested this by going in and actually trying the level again after we had completed it once, because shader compilation, once it's done, it shouldn't recompile the shaders once they've been compiled already. So that's why, like Callisto Protocol, if you went through the opening 30 minutes, super stuttery. You went through it again a second time without changing anything on your computer, reinstalling drivers or anything, and it was smooth and it worked great. It's because it had compiled the shaders it needed to calculate how things look on screen. This game, similarly, if you go through it again right after playing through it once, it doesn't stutter as bad, but it still stutters and it drops frames in the cutscenes and stuff like that. Which to me suggests there's a lot more going on under the hood that is complicating this. But either way, it doesn't change the fact, even if it is a complicated issue, we're 4 to 5 months after launch and they still have not fixed it. And that to me says, okay, I don't think they're going to just show up and fix it tomorrow, because they probably have looked at it and it's just not worth their time. They're like, people are playing on console. Everybody kind of gave up on PC because of the bad launch. So we're just not going to bother fixing it. It's just not worth the time. And that sucks. It sucks because it means that this is probably the best the game's ever going to get on PC, without like modders fixing it or something. And that just blows. That just blows. So I think on PS5, it runs a little better. On PS5, it'll hit like, I think it goes to 60. Yeah, on PS5, it goes to 60. Which playing these games at a steady 60 is not bad. But still. Let's see. Oh, what is this? There's drama that Michael got into. Hold on. All I did... Okay. Gas Mask Gamer said, I can feel the raw urge of bigot energy this effer has. He desperately wants to say something, but he's just smart enough to understand that he can't. About what? Assassin's Creed Red details leaked, and it apparently is coming next year. We recently found out via leaks the game is set in feudal Japan and will reportedly have dual protagonists, a female samurai and African refugee shinobi. Some people were very upset by that revelation, ... Okay, a female samurai and an African refugee. So, okay, cool. And then this guy's saying that Michael's a bigot for referencing that. Okay. Then he says, all I did was report the facts. Assassin's Creed Feudal Japan is reportedly going to have dual protagonists. That's it. Yeah, some people are mad. You're an annoying clown. Toss around words. You have no idea what they mean. Pathetic. As to my feelings on the protagonist, I have no idea. I have to see how it comes together. I don't think Ubisoft will do any of this justice, but we'll see, I guess. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I probably just wouldn't even reply, but It'll be interesting. I mean, I don't know. I guess we can look at this. So, samurai and a shinobi. The dual protagonist thing is interesting because they did it with Assassin's Creed Syndicate, of course, with Jacob and Evie, and it was interesting because they each had their own skill set. They each had their own like skill tree. So one, Evie was very focused on stealth, and Jacob was much more melee combat, just get in there, get your hands dirty. And it created some really interesting things where the missions would change, and you went on some missions with both characters. So sometimes they were doing one thing, and then the next mission, you know, you're working together, this person's doing the stealth thing, and then Jacob's over there causing a distraction. It caused some really interesting stuff to come out. And so it's interesting that they're seemingly returning to the same structure or same layout. Details on how exactly these characters will be played are limited, but it's understood that the short teaser trailer officially released by Ubisoft features the game's female samurai. The other character, the shinobi, is understood to be an African refugee who learned the way of the creed. I mean, I could see some weird dried up people being upset that it's an African refugee, but like, who cares what they think? Like, dry up, who cares? You know, whatever. Yeah, samurai melee combat focused, shinobi stealth focused. Yeah, boom. Boom. I don't understand why PC builds of games have been so bad recently. It used to be the optimal way to play. I think it's gotten complicated with a lot of the different features they're implementing, like ray tracing has complicated stuff. But more than anything, it just seems like PC gaming is not a high priority. And I don't know what the numbers show. Somebody, I saw, they did like an op-ed. Maybe it was Wall Street Journal or maybe it was Bloomberg. I don't remember where I read it, but one op-ed I saw was looking at it, and they mentioned that they interviewed somebody, and the person said that it was because pirating on PC is on the rise. That could be true. It could also just be something that like a boomer says. Like, I don't know, like, oh, well, it's because pirating is on the rise. I don't know if that's factually true. If it is true that pirating is on the rise, I can understand why all of these executives at big gaming companies are sitting around on their yachts talking, and they're like, oh, PC pirates are going crazy right now because times are getting tight and they don't like $70 charge. So everybody's just pirating games. So we really need to crank that DRM like de novo, which greatly affects performance of games. As has been demonstrated multiple times, despite what de novo says officially. And then they also are like, well, if they're going to pirate the game, then we just won't put as many eggs in that basket. We just will prioritize the console versions and we'll release on PC. But if we shove DRM stuff in there that tanks performance and causes problems, and we prioritize that over the game's polish, whatever, they were going to pirate it anyways, you know? Bep says DirectX 12 is to blame, way closer to the metal, but that also means people need to know what they're doing. I could see that. I could see that also causing issues. But DX12 has been mainstream for a handful of years now, hasn't it? This sounds more promising since it's two completely different characters instead of in Syndicate, where the siblings were pretty similar in personality and look. I mean, it could be really interesting, especially narratively. There's a lot you could do. Especially if one is a refugee. There's tons of interesting stuff you could do where two very different backgrounds coming together to fight a common enemy, but they are fighting the enemy from different perspectives. I think it could be fascinating. There's a lot you could do. It is fair to question, like Michael said, whether or not they approach this or handle it well. That's another question. But we'll see. I hope. I had Ubisoft Massive's, I think he was the QC manager, I think. He reached out to me earlier today. He saw the videos I did on Frontiers of Pandora and Star Wars Outlaws, which are the two games they're working on. So that was kind of cool. I mean, it's a passionate group of people that are working on this. You got to remember they're people. You know, it's easy to be like, well, Ubisoft is going to screw this up. Ubisoft is going to... It's a group of passionate people that are going to try their damnedest to do a good job. I know it's easy to boil it down to just, well, X corporation is just a bunch of buffoons. And it's like, well, there's a lot of very capable people there. Do they pull it off? I don't know. It's more complicated than that, though. It really is. Anyway. But with that, I am going to call it there because we're about to have those friends over to meet our new baby. They've been waiting very patiently for like a month to come over and meet the little fella. So we're going to go do that and hang out. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be a good time. I want to thank all of you guys for hanging out with me while we tested this. I was just curious. Yesterday, we were like, I wonder if they ever fixed Wild Hearts. Doesn't really seem like it. They did some work on it. It's better, but it's not fixed, unfortunately. Anyway, Luke, did you see the video where a streamer does a 20+ Elden Ring seamless co-op stream with viewers? I did not see that. That sounds insane, though. That's wild. Sadly, all launches are pretty bad these days on PC, PS5, Xbox. Even Game of the Year Elden Ring launched broken on console and PC. The age of patches is ruining games. Yeah, I've heard that games that have been in development during COVID and during work from home have seen a large uptick in performance issues. I don't know, like, again, I'm not in game dev, but I spoke to one person who works in QA, and they said that they think the lack of in-office work has affected it, because it used to be that you could just kind of stand up in your cubicle and yell over at Tom, hey, come see this. And then they come over, they see it, they work on the solution, and they figure out how to fix it. Whereas for a lot of companies, working remote has caused problems. I even had problems, like there are some studios that do it much better, clearly. There's some studios like Insomniac who just magically can pull stuff off that's really polished and it's fine. But I think that's more a testament to Insomniac being exceptional than the broader industry. It seems like for a lot of these companies that are really big and massive, it's really tough to do the work remote thing. And I think that affected performance a lot. We'll see if they figure it out as the years go by and as that becomes more mainstream. But I think the issue with PC ports and bugs and stuff in modern games are a lot more complicated than just, oh, it's X, oh, it's DRM, oh, it's work from home, oh, it's this or that. It's like a combination of 1,000 different things. So yeah. And I appreciate that, Skeptical Bucket Man. Appreciate you. Anyway, thank you guys. Thank you so much. We'll be back on Monday with another stream. Stay safe out there. Hugs and kisses. Much love. I'll see you then. Bye-bye. Not starting soon. Ending now. See, I accidentally pressed the wrong button. Okay, bye.